Hello, this is Xbox Ahoy, and this is the bonus footage for the Ballistic knife. I've only got about 10 minutes of footage, and I've got a whole bunch of questions from the last video, so let's get on with them, shall we? Gaming says, why do you think more people like COD instead of BF3/BF4? That's a pretty complex question, and I think there's a few facets to the answer. I'd actually quite like to do a video on this topic. Seeing as though we're in a transitional phase and Call of Duty has some competition on the horizon, I think it could be quite interesting to do like an analysis on what could potentially dethrone it. But essentially, the reason for Call of Duty's popularity boils down to accessibility. It's an easy game to pick up and play. You don't have to learn too much about the game to be reasonably good at the game. Whereas something like Battlefield is a lot more focused on teamwork and strategy, which is a good thing, but it's also harmful to the accessibility. It's a difficult balance. Anyway, popularity is not necessarily reflective of something's merits. Sometimes the best things in life are the hardest to get into. Max Marks asks, what's your favourite energy drink? I try to avoid drinking too much in the way of energy drinks because they are, you know, sugary and caffeine-y and... I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy them, but it's just... too much is probably not the best for you. I don't mind a spot of Red Bull, but one of my favourites is one called Relentless. I think it's made by Coca-Cola, and they've got a few flavours. My favourite one is the sugar-free one, if only because I saved myself over the sugar rush. But generally I avoid them. I like to keep my caffeine intake as a steady trickle throughout the day, instead of, you know, a giant sugary surge. A Northern guy asks, hey Stu, did you get GTA 5? Well, given that I've done a GTA 5 video, it should be obvious that it has arrived. But it didn't come on Tuesday, oh no. It turned up on Wednesday. Thanks a lot, Royal Mail. Extreme Zaz asks, Stu, are you upset that the Desert Eagle is not in COD Ghosts? And when you say you hate certain video games, do you mean that they could have just been better? As far as the old Deagle's concerned, I don't get too attached to guns. I mean, the guns that are in the game are the guns that are in the game. It looks like there's a selection of new ones, so, you know, at least there's something new to talk about. As far as hating games, I try not to say stuff like that. I try not to say outright that I hate this game, because, well, people take it personally. People get very attached to video games, and I'd hate to offend anybody. Besides, I think hate is a bit of a strong word to use for optional interactive entertainment. Like, there are certain games that I prefer not to play, but that's pretty much all I do. I don't play them. You might think that after doing a year-long series on Call of Duty that I might grow to hate that game, but the thing about Call of Duty is it's always the same. You know, it's just, you run around, you shoot some guys, there's not much more to it. John Baller asks, hey Stu, have you played Rage before? If so, what are your thoughts on it? Oh, I hated Rage. No, I'm just kidding. Rage was okay. I was impressed with the technology behind it. The engine was, I mean, 60 frames a second on console, and it still looked pretty good. The controls are slick, and it was... yeah, it was interesting. The game itself had promise in a few areas, but it wasn't, you know, as satisfying as some other titles. But it was alright. King of Combos asks, hey Stu, Jaffa Cakes or Jammy Dodgers? Now, I like a Jammy Dodger, but if you're going to put them up against a Jaffa Cake, they come out second tier, I'm afraid. Jaffa Cakes all the way. Adrenaline Life asks, are you going to play BF4? Yes, most definitely. I probably will pick it up. The high-value target mode sounds quite interesting. I'll definitely be checking that out. And if it turns out that I actually enjoy the game, and, you know, if I have some free time, then there is the possibility, at least, of me producing some videos for Battlefield 4. But it depends on what captures my interest. I think Ghosts is probably going to be a priority, and unfortunately Battlefield 4 comes out at the same time. But I'm planning to wrap up the Ghost series within maybe 2 to 3, maybe 4 months at most. And so by then, I might have a bit of time in between the release of Titanfall to actually do a bit of Battlefield content. But I'm not promising anything. This is just a maybe, and it depends if I like the game or not. But I will definitely be playing it, and I'll give it a fair shake. Oh no, not more pronunciation. German. Hallo, hier ist Xbox Ahoy, und das ist das MAT1 Bonusmaterial. Finish! Hey, tama on Xbox Ahoy, ja tama olkamas kimes jonen yakso minen Black Ops 2 as your pasta. Swedish. Halla, det har Xbox Ahoy. Och det har en den 7:e episoden av min Black Ops 2 Vapenguide. I apologise, I'm not really paying too much mind to the pronunciation on these ones, I'm just bashing through them. Polish! Oh, you're having a laugh. Biobam, bardzo zwiedziony, dajbaj można przeżytać. Well, there you go. Yes, I know. I pronounced the words wrong. Yes, I don't speak Polish. I tried, alright? I think that's enough for pronunciation. Let's get back to some regular questions. A football question. Jayhawk Beermaker asks, Stu, what's your EPL side? Well, because you didn't specify that it had to be a current EPL team, I'm going to say Preston North End. They were in the Premier League once, maybe, I think. Yeah, I think so. But I can't really say that I follow football all that much. Superstar015 asks, Hey Stu, have you got a favourite animated series? In recent years, probably one of my favourite animated series probably has to be King of the Hill. The series has always kind of played second fiddle to stuff like The Simpsons, but you know what? It had incredible heart, and watching it always makes me want to move to Texas, if only, you know, just to grill stuff. Larfa80 asks, do you have a subreddit, Stu? I do, yeah, although it's not really used. It's just r/Xbox Ahoy. I mean, it's an open community, so if you all want to congregate there and post stuff, then feel free. And, I mean, I'm subscribed to it, so I'll see stuff on there. But my own subreddit on Reddit hasn't really been a major part of my overall social media strategy. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't really have a social media strategy. I just make videos. Broski981 says, do you plan on playing Elder Scrolls Online? If so, what faction will you choose? I'm going to be a Nord Dragon Knight on the Ebenhard Pact. You see, I like the Elder Scrolls games. Loved Oblivion, loved Skyrim. I missed out on Morrowind. I wasn't playing the series back then. But the Elder Scrolls Online definitely has my interest. Unfortunately, given that there's a cash shop, there's a subscription fee, and you have to buy the game, I'm kind of put off by the cost of it. I've got to say, I'm not the biggest fan of MMOs either. I played World of Warcraft for the brief history video that I did, and I only played like a little tiny bit, but that game held no appeal whatsoever. So I created a character, which was fun, and then, alright, so here's a quest marker, walk over here, there we go. Alright, go over here, collect 6 of these things, come back. Alright then, okay, fine. So I did that. Right, come back for another mission. Oh, great, you've done that. Alright, well go over here instead, collect 8 of these things, and hang on a minute, that's pretty much the same quest! And that was around about the time I stopped playing. So I don't know, I'm not sure if MMOs are for me. But, I don't know, I'll see what the reception's like, and if it's at least mildly positive or better, I might be tempted into checking it out. As for what faction I'll be, I have no idea. Probably whatever looks the coolest. B52 Stratofortress 1 says, Stu, would you welcome another World War II based Call of Duty game? You see, once upon a time, World War II was kind of trodden into the dirt a little bit. It was overdone. And that's what made Call of Duty 4 so revolutionary, the fact that it wasn't a World War II game. But there has been a definite shift away from World War II towards, you know, modern mill games. And, yeah, there is kind of a bit of a void in that area. I think it comes down to the overall quality of the game. I mean, of course, I'd welcome a good World War II game. Of course. I mean, it's just a setting, and, you know, really, the quality of a game comes down to the quality of its narrative and, you know, just, well, everything apart from where it's set. That's almost incidental. So yeah, it could work, although a lot of stories already have been told from World War II. Personally, I'd like to see more World War I games. Now, as a first-person shooter, that would be terrible. I mean, it's all trench warfare and sitting in a muddy hole. But I do think you could do a lot with other types of games. Maybe adventure games, or you could maybe do something in the first-person or third-person, but I think you would have to be less focused on shooting. There have been a few games that have touched on it. The Darkness springs to mind, and I'm trying to think of other World War I games. There's probably some strategy games out there. And I think there's a game where you are in a trench and there's a velociraptor in the trench with you. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called 1916 or something. Yes, 1916. Der Unbekannt Krieg. It's an indie game, it's a little bit out there, but an interesting World War I game nonetheless, and I think there is some exploration that could be had there. But these things, they're just backdrops. Really, it's all about the characters, about the story, and about the, you know, the tale that you tell. That's what it comes down to. Okay, Taco Burgerlure says, Hey Stu, can you do a guide for the Gran Turismo series? I keep running into people who say Forza is the original racing simulator, but it isn't. The first one came out in 1995 or 1994. Yes, I remember 1994, the year that the very first racing game ever came out. No, wait, hang on. There were racing simulators before then. Neither Gran Turismo nor Forza is the first. Gran Turismo certainly came before Forza, but precedence doesn't really mean much. As far as doing videos for driving games, I'd quite like to do something for Forza 5, but I don't really have any ideas. I mean, I kind of have ideas. I mean, you know, could do a vehicle guide sort of thing, but it's not really a concrete, solid, good idea. So, we'll see. Ghosts is going to keep me busy in November anyway, so I'll take everything after that as it comes. Anyway, I'm out of footage, so this bonus footage is about to end. I'm actually working on some Drinks Ahoy content, so I'm going to take a week off from the Xbox Ahoy channel in favour of a Drinks Ahoy video. I'm not sure precisely when it's going to come out. It'll be done when it's done. I need to film some stuff, I need to drink some stuff. So that'll be the inaugural video for the channel, and it'll be about 15 minutes, and it should be a pretty good one, we'll see. You might also have some commentary tracks for some of the recent videos I've done on the main channel crop up on this channel over the next few days. You know me, I like to talk about the work that I've done, and I think doing an audio commentary will be a pretty good place to do it without eating into question answering time here. After that, I might do another GTA 5 video. It seems like GTA 5 is very, very hot at the minute. I might do some stuff for the GTA Online when that launches, and I've got a couple of other ideas that I might run with, but we'll see. It depends on what time I've got available. But anyway, failing all that, I shall see you in about a week for some more questions, so leave your questions down below and I'll pick them up and I'll try and answer them. So until then, farewell.